It's Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and it's time for our weekly lesson about life in the Sandbox. Ron Price has written a series of books about getting along with others in the Sandbox. He's with me this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. And by the way, yes, I've written 3 books, but it's because I'm a training junkie. I've been to workshop after workshop after workshop, conference after conference after conference, and I've learned from the best of the best. And I just take what I learn and repackage it, add illustrations, add some humor, what have you, and get it out there because it's good information that people need to hear.
True. Well, and I appreciate you getting it out there with me because we're able to offer this to our audiences, and they're always helpful tips each and every week. And I've told you that I've used them time and time again in my life, so I appreciate that. And I think other folks have told you too, so that's good too.
That is. It's always gratifying to hear that.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about a very stupid expression that we often use.
Yes.
Which is?
Forgive and forget.
Oh, you do remember. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I never forget. And that's what you said. We never forget people that ask us to forgive, right?
We may not be able to call it to mind right away. We may temporarily forget some things, but they'll come back to us later. Well, here's another stupid expression. It came from a movie back in the, when was it? 60s, 70s? The movie was Love Story.
Right.
And there was a slogan from that movie that swept the country. You're too young to remember it, Scott, but I remember it well.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, love is never having to say, you're sorry.
Oh.
Gag me. Oh, yeah, it sounds so nice. If I love you, I will never wrong you. I will never get you upset. If I love you, I will always treat you right. There's only one problem with that. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
We're human beings. And anytime human beings interact with each other, there are going to be moments when one or both are not at their best. Love is frequently having to say, I'm sorry. But those are 2 words that a lot of times are difficult for people to say. Why? Ego preservation, I guess. Okay. Again, I can't think of a lot of good reasons why somebody would be hesitant to say, I'm sorry, if they know that they caused somebody harm or upsetness or what have you. Scott, any guesses? Why don't people like to say, I'm sorry?
Wouldn't it maybe be a possible sign of weakness to say you're sorry or admit that you're sorry, that you were wrong about something?
In some people's eyes, yes, you're right. So what?
Well, I'm just saying. You asked, and I answered.
And you did, and you answered very well. Thank you. That's a very, very absolutely correct answer.
It shouldn't be that way, but it
is. Shouldn't. And so maybe that's a future episode. Why do we go around wearing masks? Why do we go around worrying what other people think about us?
Because that's a week-long series, I think, on that topic. Yes, sir.
Man, nonstop. And yet we do it. But why? Why do we do that? Why aren't we more at peace with ourselves? And I'm not saying that I've arrived and, be like me. I work on it. But really, other people's opinion of me. Now, if I'm contributing to it, if I'm doing something that says, oh, he's a jerk, well, then, I want to know that, and I want to take steps to correct it. Because while I can act as a jerk on occasion, ask anybody who knows me well, I don't think I'm a jerk. I try to treat people right. I try to be respectful and honoring of other people who are walking this wonderful journey of life with me. But if people would be willing to say, I'm sorry, if people would be willing to be vulnerable. Have you come across Brené Brown yet, Scott?
I have not.
You might want to. You might want to. Brené Brown, she's got one of those French accents on the second E. Either goes up and down or down and up. I don't know.
Impressive.
She's made a fortune, not a lot of fortune, but she's gained great fame on TED Talks and speaking circuits and books on being vulnerable, taking off that mask and letting people realize that you're a human being with shortcomings and faults and failures. And when you don't have to hide that anymore, what a burden is lifted.
Right.
You can relax. You can be more comfortable in your own skin. And again, at times we talk about, I ask you, people that you admire, people that you respect, are they people who are comfortable in their own skin?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like it, for sure, yeah.
That they're not trying to put on any act. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of very many people. Again, we talked about Gordon Glass a couple of weeks ago. He's one that was comfortable in his own skin. That's what enabled him to be receptive of other people whose views differed with him. He didn't have anything to prove. He didn't have to convince anybody. Form the habit of saying, I'm sorry. Form the habit of being vulnerable, of practicing humility. You don't have to go around trying to convince people that you got it all together. We already know you don't. None of us do. So stop the act. You'll be happier, we'll be happier, and maybe it'll be a happier Sandbox. What do you think, Scott?
I'd like a happy Sandbox.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
very
right.
good. Thank you, Ron. That's Ron Price. He is with me every Wednesday right here for another lesson about life in the Sandbox on KSJE Farmington.